in friendship. Non-stop debate. Oh, I'm hoping he does. He's a jerk.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person!
Tenko died in a crouched position. The injury on the back of her neck was deep, but probably not enough to kill her immediately. Okay. I was trying to figure out, because this is the thing we thought Maki said, which I guess was then put into this truth.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance. She could have secretly brought the sickle and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
Last of her strength. Everyone thinks that Tenko committed suicide, but only because they're latching on to the easiest answer. To get out of this, I need to make them think their suicide theory won't work. Do I need to lie? Is this a lying portion?
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her.
I think it is.
So she hid
Because we
her
told
true
Maki to
intentions.
trust us. So I'm doing the lying thing here on something Kyo
But if
says.
Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
I also know that I should probably
She could have secretly brought the sickle
probably should have got the
and
extra
then
health boost,
stabbed herself with it.
just in case.
Finally, with the last...
Yeah!
I'll reveal the truth.
Thank you, Executive. Also, happy Wednesday to you ladies. How you doing? I'm getting the
Tenko
gist of the
couldn't have
trial
thrown
now.
the sickle under the floor because she died instantly.
Instantly?
I'm glad to know you ladies are prepped for the hurricane. And it went well today. Good. Glad to hear that. And I got it to open and paused it before I heard anything. Oh gosh, that was scary. Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
I'm certain of it.
They're in
My investigation determined that she died instantly.
Oh yeah, where are you going to be holing up? Are you going to be staying in a shelter? Are you going to be in your house? I don't know exactly where you ladies are located, but I do hope that you're either like in a basement with no windows, or in the bathroom, or wherever those other spots. You're holding up in your house. A lot of strong prep. Okay. Did you cover the windows with anything? Okay, good. Good. Stay safe.
What's your opinion, Maki? I'd like to hear from someone who specializes in murder.
Maki.
You're right. I completely forgot about that important detail.
Yeah.
Tenko died instantly.
What?
As an assassin, I specialize in killing my targets swiftly.
I'm glad to hear you have a storm basement, Excelica. Good.
I have no doubt that Tenko was killed immediately.
Words of a true killer. Pretty sure we can believe everything she said.
Thank you, Maki.
How could you forget that, Maki roll? You better apologize to Shuichi.
I like Maki. I think she doesn't have any friends. And we started hanging out with Maki. So right now I want to max out Maki, and at the behest of chat, we doing Mew as well. Cool.
Excuse me?
It's okay, Kaito, really. No apology necessary.
Yeah. And then Mosspaw is just saying, you know, as we get closer and closer to maxing out Maki's, like, her friendship thing, is when she dies.
Anyway, Tenko died so suddenly that she couldn't have gotten rid of the sickle. Knowing that, the theory that she killed herself just doesn't fit, correct?
Just like I thought. Tenko wouldn't commit suicide.
Thank goodness, Himiko.
Which means someone definitely killed Tenko during the seance.
Yeah, as we move forward with free time events, we are increasing their death flag coefficient exponentially as we keep hanging out with them.
Her suicide was considered because we could not determine how she was killed.
Really? That's...
No! There must have been a way!
You have
We're gonna figure it out!
How do you have 3 people maxed? I barely have 1 person halfway. Oh, we did fail 2 free time events, though.
Did any of the
That could be
participants
it.
witness anything peculiar during the seance?
The noise.
If you know something, please speak up. It could be the key to solving this mystery.
Not a bad idea. We should remember what happened at the seance. Let me try to remember. I'm sure there's something. I need some kind of clue that'll help me solve this mystery. Yeah, Kaito is an astronaut in training. So I know all the stuff that Kaito would like. We have like a lot of things he would like.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
The sound?
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed. The ritual was perfect, and yet it failed. How utterly strange.
Magic circle was drawn on the salt. It was drawn on the floor of the room seance was held. After Tenko's body was found, the magic circle was trampled on. That made it impossible to check the original shape. Huh.
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall, I think.
I'm more concerned about how dark it got in there.
I almost
I
want
mean, it was totally pitch black.
I'm gonna agree with
My job was to
Himiko
relight
on
the
that
candles.
last one. So
Moving along the walls was seriously tough.
yeah, we failed once on Kirumi and once on Maki, which made me sad. It was pitch black during the seance. That limits what could have happened. Just think, come and think. There must be some kind of clue.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
I'm going to agree with
There is
Himiko on this
something
one.
that bothers
But I
me.
actually, that doesn't work,
The fact
I'm going
that
to
the
inspect
seance failed.
what he says.
The ritual was perfect, and yet it failed.
I don't think it was
How
perfect.
utterly strange.
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall.
Nailed it.
I agree.
I agree. Well, we will, Blade. I want to max out Maki first.
Himiko.
Because if it's
you
like
think that
the
something
second
fell
one,
because of that sound you heard, right?
we are given a skill to use in these without having to buy it. Which I want to have. That sound is not a floorboard. What is that sound?
It sounded like something heavy fell down and hit the floor really hard. What could have fallen down?
Fallen down.
Fallen down? There wasn't anything on the ceiling that could have fallen down, right?
Am I wrong? I thought something fell, but
The sound was pretty loud. It did seem like something hit the floorboards.
The only thing I can think of that would fall down and hit the floorboards would be Himiko. Or not Himiko, Tenko. Like... Thanks for the lurk. Happy Wednesday, you ladies. Nice love bomb drop. I'm wondering if Tenko's murderer was in there, lifted her up, stabbed her, then dropped her down onto the floorboards again to let them leave. Like something hit the floorboards. Maybe that sound had something to do with the other thing that happened in the dark. What other thing that happened in the dark? Crap. We need to get to her stuff. Something else that happened in the dark. That? I'm gonna guess loose floorboard right now. I know the circle was ruined, but that was after everything came up. Like, that everyone was... Like, she was dead. Crosspiece under floor. I'm gonna go with this.
This is it!
Okay, good. I only had like 8 seconds left.
I think the floorboard coming off had something to do with that sound. That floorboard came loose at some point during the seance, right?
Would the floorboard have made such a loud sound, though?
It was the sound of an intense impact.
Did she come crashing down?
If the impact was that intense, then it could have loosened the floorboard.
Here's a thought. What if... No, he can't see. I was thinking, what if somebody if the thing that fell was the dog and the cage going back down over Tenko? But then that would have to be Gonta. So what if somebody had lifted the cage, killed her, dropped the cage back down, then left? And put the sickle underneath, and then left the way they came. That's my guess on what fell. That is true. That would have had been to a strong impact to make that sound. But what was it? What could it possibly be?
All right, then. Let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now.
I don't know why Gonta would do it, though. Crosspiece under the floor.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue...
During the seance, there was a loud sound while it was completely dark.
was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hide under floor. Then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it is dangerous. God, it's like I'm the only one here who's staying on the ball.
You hardly have any experience with balls to say that, Mew.
Don't be stupid. Don't you know me and Balls are the best of friends?
Yeah, Balls and friends. What would have made a strong enough impact to knock the floorboard loose? If I think about everyone's testimony and combine it with the facts...
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Support a loose floor from the seance. Only a portion of the floorboard was cut off.
Someone who participated in the seance.
Small butt of blood was on the ground under the floor. The room the seance was held in. It was quite far from where Tenko's blood. That's something else. It's not that
Maybe
one.
that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell.
I think it's this. It's not? Dang it. Stock statue would make a pretty loud noise since it's heavy, but the culprit wouldn't be able to lift it back onto the cage alone, right?
Oh no!
Unless it was Gonta. That's what I was trying to
So what
get
made
at.
the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hid under floor, then stood up with such might.
Did you stand up? No. I'm guessing now because none of this is making sense.
Damn it!
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have
Let's
been
listen all again.
considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard.
That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hid.
One of the cross pieces that supported the loose floorboard in the room. Only a portion of the supports was cut off.
Hid under floor, then stood up with such might.
Where would you want me to
But
use
we
it,
already
Moss?
said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
I agree.
We'll use it on that one. Stomp through the floorboard with a cross piece.
Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
The floorboards fit perfect. Going to make sure first time we go to empty room.
Thanks for being here for your before your team practice and helping me get through that part.
When we first saw the room, yes. But when I looked again during the investigation...
What? Sorry guys, I need to block a contact really quick. Because that's really creepy. Okay.
One of the cross pieces supporting the floorboards was cut off. After examining the cut, I concluded that it must have been done deliberately.
Someone? You mean the culprit, right? Why'd they do that?
What did the culprit stand to gain by cutting the cross piece?
What did they stand to gain? That's the question. We're trying to figure out Tenko's killer and their methods right now, Blade. To solve this case, I need to think carefully about the cross piece and floorboard. Tenko's body was at one end of the loose floorboard, and the cross piece that had been cut was on the other end of the floorboard. Okay, I've been confused where this was. The unsupported part was outside the cage, so it could have been stomped on. Ooh. This makes me think Kyo did it. Kyo could have hidden the blade in the sheet, and then when he put it on, he could have pushed it through the top of where the cage was when he covered it, and known that if he hit the floorboard really, really hard, she would have gone to the blade versus the blade having to come down to her. I didn't know that the crossbeam piece was outside the cage. So this is new stuff. Only one of the cross pieces was cut, so the other two were intact. One of them was right under Tenko, and the other was in the corner, right about where the edge of the cage was. I think Kyo did kill Tenko. That makes so much more sense. What was the culprit attempting to achieve by stomping on the floorboard? Come on, think. Hangman's Gambit. Oh lord, you kidding me? Is this a really stupid answer? What happened when the loose floorboard was stepped on? Tenko. I can't even say Tenko. Here, I'm just gonna start guessing. It's an S. That was a luck guess. How about a W? No. Seesaw? Oh, please don't be Seesaw. S-C... W? I'm about to run out of health. Just tell me this stupid answer. I don't want to lose out of health. Oh, God. This is a horrible meme if that's the answer. Thank you for only answering when I asked. It was just a random text, Blade. We're fine. You don't need to do it all in caps. We're good. It's an ad texting me. So I blocked whoever's number that was. Dang it, I missed where an A was. Looking for A and W. Which is a bad root beer, by the way. It's too sugary. I got the W. Where's the A? This one's a W. Why am I not seeing an A? Am I blind? Okay, there's an A. W. Okay. It's an E and F. E and some Fs. And then ECT. So dumb. E. That's a T.
I see now.
There's some great memes that come out of Japanese games.
That's
Some of them
right.
are just dumb.
The floorboard might have been used as a seesaw.
Huh? A seesaw?
The crosspiece at one end of the floorboard had been cut off.
Seesaw effect is... Oh, here you go. Quite literally this. This is a little, like a little clip. So like if someone sits here and someone sits here, one goes up and the other one goes down. So as he stomps on this side, it makes the other side go up. This one goes down, this one goes up. Unlike a fulcrum. So if you stomp on my palm, my elbow goes up. If you stomp on my elbow, my palm goes up. Two-person swing, kind of? Might not translate very well, but...
The other two crosspieces holding up that board were close to the cage.
Yeah, there's no need for the effect. It's a seesaw. Or a fulcrum. I would have been happy with saying fulcrum. Because I know what that is.
Meaning, if you were to apply force to the end of the floorboard with no crosspiece,
It's like the strongman things at carnivals with the hammer. Where you hit something really hard to try and ring the bell. It's that.
the next crosspiece would act as a fulcrum to turn the floorboard into a lever.
This makes me think that was Kyo. I don't know anybody else who could have set that up.
A lever capable of lifting up Tenko's entire body.
Oh, very nice, Blade.
Her whole
That game was
body
made for completionists.
lifted up?
Yeah, that sounds like a seesaw, all right. But why bother lifting Tenko's body?
And I actually think not only could Kyo have been the only one to know how to do that, how to put the circle, where to make her head go, but when it comes to Shuichi and we're not the killer, the only two people left in the room were really small people. Kokichi and Himiko.
They couldn't have killed Tenko like that.
Now, Blade, did you say
Unless
Kyo
they used
killed
the
Tenko
sickle.
or that Kyo killed Angie? Because right now I'm saying Kyo killed Angie. That's my guess.
That's exactly it. Using the seesaw trick, it was possible to kill Tenko with a sickle.
No, her head was closer to the other end, so her head would have gone up. And I can't really... It showed it in the little animation. Her head and the back of her neck would have gone up towards the cage. And so if a sickle was sticking in through the cage, she would have gone up to meet the blade.
Huh? How?
In order for the culprit to kill Tenko with a seesaw trick, the placement of the sickle is the most important factor.
The floorboard seesaw, the cage, and the blood on the white fabric. What conclusions can I draw from this? There's only one place the sickle could have been that is consistent with the evidence. On top of the cage.
That's it!
Give me some health back, dang it.
The sickle was at the top of the iron cage, with the blade facing down.
That.
The reason we didn't see it was because of the fabric covering the cage. Also, the wooden statue kept the blade in place.
I want to check something. In order to perform the caged child, you need 5 people, including the spirit medium, in a dark place with no light. First, draw a magic circle. Then the spirit medium is placed the forehead on a stone and curl up like a turtle. Okay, I wanted to make sure that was actually written in there, or Kyo had made her do that for no reason. Okay. But here, this will probably answer your question, Kara.
It's true that the sickle's handle was thick, which made the statue wobble.
Yes, Blade, he did have that one.
But the statue's weight kept it from falling over.
Or he might not have bought it, but he had the ability to get it.
Once everything was in place, if you stepped hard enough on the seesaw, Tenko's body would have shot upward and hit the blade on the top of the cage. She was bent over, meaning the sickle's blade would have connected with her neck.
The 6-inch sickle blade wasn't long enough to stab Tenko in her crouched position. But with the floorboard acting as a seesaw, it could compensate for the blade's length.
Bringing the victim to the sickle rather than bringing the sickle to the victim. That's definitely an unorthodox idea.
It's crazy, but it would explain how Tenko got stabbed while she was in the cage.
So the sound we heard was the culprit stomping on the floorboard.
That impact make floorboard come loose.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned seesaw homicide.
Homicide. Not homicide.
Wait, what the hell's a seesaw homicide? That's fucking crazy!
The craziness is what really makes the killing game fun, you know?
Homicide. Homicide. I've only heard it said homicide. That's true, didn't they? She probably did it the wrong way on purpose.
They can't get away with murder the normal way, so they gotta think outside the box. Kudos, culprit! You did a great job keeping me entertained.
Indeed. Well played, Himiko.
Yeah?
It was... Huh?
Why did it do that? It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide trick?
Huh? Why her?
Oh, I can actually do this.
Indeed. Well played, Himiko.
Yeah? 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 Yeah?
It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide.
Huh? Why her?
Yeah?
Why her?
Because she's the only one capable of carrying out this plan.
And now he's trying to cover his butt.
The only one? Why's that?
Because this seesaw homicide required its location to be prepared beforehand.
By cutting the crosspiece beneath the floorboard, you mean?
Then the culprit would need to lure their victim into the prepared room. That is why you chose that room for the seance. Is it not, Himiko?
However, there are only 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? Yeah, the middle room. Yeah.
Oh yeah! Himiko was the one who chose the site for the seance!
She likely found out about my plans for the seance somehow.
You were quite vocal about the seance, Kyo. You even had instructions for it in your lab.
Our culprit, Himiko, prepared her seesaw trap ahead of time. Then she waited for me to host the seance and suggested the middle room. She led us all into holding the seance right where she wanted it. Then, she killed Tenko. All the...
That's a lie,
Yeah.
right? Himiko
I see it, Blade.
did such a thing?
In the end, Himiko, who Tenko cherished and loved, tragically killed her.
Wait! We don't know that, right? He's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko.
Also, for a seesaw trick to work, you have to be heavier than the person you're seesawing with. So if we look at Himiko, 86 pounds. 115 pounds. 86 pounds. 115 pounds. She'd have to find out to get 30 more pounds on her. Even with a stomp, it wouldn't work. Where's him? 143. Super easy. Likes straw ropes. Dislikes air conditioning? Wait, how much does Kokichi weigh? 97. So still not what you need it to be. Now granted, I'm not saying if someone who weighed less tried to do it and she wouldn't move, but she would not go all the way up high enough to be, like, punctured.
Right?
Kill Tinko? I killed Tinko?
Well, here's a question. How much do we weigh? 128. Yeah, we could have done it. Well, yeah, Blade, it's been going on for 2 hours, so the trials take a while.
Himiko?
What's wrong, Himiko?
Is it true that using the middle room... It is true that Himiko chose to pick the middle room. But does that mean that Himiko really killed Tenko? Would something like that really happen? Something so cruel. No. No, that's wrong. Inter-freaking mission indeed. Whew. I would love to save. I'm going to take a small break, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you take the one with me, because we have been going kind of straight right through here